Hey, Avengers, I am back. Welcome back to the Avenger channel where we don't just talk about the truth, we let the receipts speak for themselves. Today, we are diving into Jaguar Wright's own words. I know I discussed it in my last video, but I wanted to make a short video as well for the people that like, shorter content. So we're going to dive into Jag's years of wild claims about Sean Diddy Combs. She swore she attended his infamous parties, was caught on a Diddy tape, filmed freak offs with hidden cameras, pimped both men and women, and trafficked people within the industry. She even claimed to have Diddy tapes as proof of everything she said since 2005. But child, now that Ashley Parham has hit her with that frivolous lawsuit, backed by attorney Ariel Mitchell, is backpedaling, child. Her back is going backwards, child. That bike is pedaling backwards. The lawsuit itself is frivolous, but she's still worried. And her response, a full-blown narcissistic rage. When I said she blew a head gasket, she blew a freaking head gasket. So anyways, instead of taking my word for it, let's roll the clips. Hear Jaguar Wright in her own voice making these explosive claims, and then listen to how she's suddenly trying to walk it all back now that real legal consequences are on the table. I mean, that she's facing a lawsuit, but frivolous or not, it's still a lawsuit. Okay, so it's causing her to worry. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to, roll the clips of everything she was saying about Diddy before the lawsuit was filed. The amended lawsuit was filed on March 7th, 2025. And now, at the very end, we're going to roll the clips or some audio of her backpedal hearing about the lawsuit. Okay. Overnight after, it was posted, like going into March 8th, she went into a new, she went into artistic grade. And, but yeah, I thought we're going to start off with the clips, and then at the end, we're going to end with the present. So like historical stuff first, and then moving into current day. Okay.
I used to get money for girls.
Okay, in the next video, we're going, and yeah, Legina was not trafficked. Legina was not trafficked, okay? Let me say that. That was just a narrative spawned to weaponize against other people. However, Jag trying to pretend like she was a sexual trafficking advocate, like a sex trafficking advocate. And then later dragging the person she said she was advocating for. That's the hypocrisy. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to point out. But no, Legina Gold was not trafficked, but Jab was pretending like she was rescuing her, and then she later dragged her. So there goes that rescue, right? Yeah, hold on.
Girls, after they would run through them, run trains on them, and they would give me a certain amount of money, and I had to make deals with them to not go to the police and to sign non-disclosure agreements.
So right here, she's talking about her former life as a pimp, P-I-M-P, okay, a pimp, and how, she used to make deals and how the women had to sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and things like that. So again, she's claiming to be this SA advocate, and watch how she describes this whole story about her being a pimp and the women. Okay, so
oh my God,
I got a stack of NDAs at the top of every week and $5,000 in cash, and this is back in the 90s. $5,000 was a little bit of money, but it wasn't a lot of money. I got a stack of NDAs and $5,000, and they told me whatever I didn't pay out, I could keep. The first time I seen a girl take $200 after 15 dudes had ran through her after they drugged her, and she had no idea. She didn't even know that she screamed most of the time. That's how insanely drunk and intoxicated and drugged she was. She didn't even realize she had been. All she kept saying is, "Do you know where I can get a hot cup of tea? My throat is so hoarse." And she took the $200 and signed a non-disclosure agreement for that kind of abuse. Now, when I quit, it was when the white girl came to me to negotiate. And I said, "How about we start with $500? She said, "How about I know they give you at least $5,000 for this? Tell them they're going to have to come to the table with more money if they want me to sign off on this paper." The white girl, turned out she was pre-law. She was in college studying pre-law. She knew all about it.
Yeah, good point. Like, she's saying that she used to be a pimp and that she has like a stack of NDAs at the beginning of like every week or so. Like, what pimp? Like, you good point. What pimp like has all people signing these NDAs? Now, I have heard of such things, like I guess when people have like are wealthy and things like that. So, but not like some like regular like pimps that she's describing. Yeah. So $60 says, happy 5th month anniversary to you. I appreciate the support. Says the facts and only the facts reside here. Yes, yes, only the facts. So let's get back to the video. Hold on.
And she walked away with $25,000 that night. And guess what? Of all of the women that I paid off while I worked for this particular crew, she got the most money. And it was the black girls that accepted the least amount of money. I actually ran out of cash one time, and I couldn't find anybody with petty cash to go get more money to pay off more girls. And those girls accepted backstage passes at the next concert instead.
So she said that at one time she ran out of money to pay the girls, and they accepted backstage passes. Something tells me that, you know, people actually would want their money and not just want backstage passes to a concert. And for me to see, you said she's lying. Now it's the white girl that was smart enough to know she was a pimp with at least $5,000 to pay her off. I can't, and I won't tolerate such foolery. Of course, and then you get into it where, you know, all the black women were stupid and they didn't know their worth. They were just like unintelligent, but it just so happened to be a white woman that she knew her worth. She was smart enough to figure things out, you know, catch that.
Oh my God.
After being viciously raped for 7 hours with 12 men that
we're gonna knock out your teeth.
That's a great thing. But on one of the clips I seen, I think on Facebook, you know, you were talking about you attended a couple of Diddy's parties.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate just a little bit if you can, or you want to go deep? Go deep. Shit.
I mean, honestly, I went to be nosy and I went to go make sure that my workers were working. I kept people in those parties. I still got people that go to Diddy parties.
Jag built her, you know, career off of, you know, being an alleged insider and whistleblower. Jaguar Wright has repeatedly claimed she attended Diddy's parties, was involved in his so-called freak-offs, and even had hidden camera footage. She has claimed to have Diddy tapes, to have been a sex worker supplier, and to have sent sex workers to Diddy. Now that she is being sued, however, she's suddenly, you know, saying she has no connection to Diddy and that the lawsuit is false. So which is it? She spent years inserting herself into these narratives. Why backpedal now? Why, Jag? Why?
People keep forgetting I was a dominatrix. People keep forgetting I'm a sex worker. People keep forgetting I had my own book. I just wasn't trying to Heidi Fleiss it. I was an artist. I had a reason to be in certain places, which gave me the reason to keep people on my list, at my table.
$1,000 for a 17-foot TV system that costs $150,000.
You know what I was going to ask you, Jag? How the hell do you know all this stuff? Is that how?
Let me
Yeah.
show you a little something that I don't show most people.
Consider dropping the bond amount from 20,000 each count.
Lovely timepiece, isn't it?
Turner has been charged for
Yeah, lovely.
Hold on, let's get in on that.
I'm trying to hold on, let me remember how to do this. I'm gonna zoom in. So
Hold on a second. There you go.
there you go.
tragic update about a woman.
You don't see me wear it often.
Right.
If you see me wearing this, though, you should be worried.
So pay attention to what she says about the watch. If you see me wearing it, you should be what? Worried?
Can you
Oh boy.
speak about the significance behind that watch? If you can.
Well, that's not a watch, that's a camera.
So she said it's not a watch, it's actually a camera.
Charges could increase due to the victim's death.
Yeah.
Defense attorney trying to intimidate witnesses.
The question is, how many of those cameras do I have?
Here she goes. How many does she have? Do tell us. Please tell us. How many cameras do you have? Again, Jack has spent years running her mouth about Diddy, claiming she was at his parties, had Diddy tapes, trafficked people, and even filmed these freak-offs of hidden cameras. So I guess she's trying to insinuate or imply that the hidden cameras are in watches. Man, when did that technology actually come out or exist to have hidden cameras inside of a watch? Yeah. Yeah, but she has been calling herself a whistleblower and insider in the industry's truth teller and has not really ever posted one receipt of any connection, association, or any link towards or with Diddy.
And how many different variations do I have them? You want to know what's awesome about technology? Little hidden cameras like that? I'm going to be able to rig them up so I can go live.
Ooh.
During a news conference, Langton's attorney accused Haley of lying.
But fuck, I'm a whole spy.
Accusing Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault. April Lamppost says 30 years ago.
I hear something playing talking about Diddy now in the background.
So, of course, in the background, she's playing some Diddy audio. She's claiming to be a spy, getting into her whole role of I'm a spy. I go into these Diddy parties and things like that. I record. I have freak off tapes. I have Diddy tapes. And of course, now that she's being sued by Ashley Parham, now is she's moonwalking and electric sliding and cha-cha now y'all and stuff like that, trying to moonwalk and walk backwards on us, child. Girl, you have been asking for, if I'm lying, then sue me. You've been saying that for years. What happened? What had happened?
Yeah, it's just Diddy everywhere, my bad.
Hey, motherfucking that.
We Diddy live. We Diddy. You can't get away. No Diddy.
That's funny.
When you
Hold on a second. Yeah, so we're going to get into some more clips as well. But like I said, she swore up and down. She had these Diddy tapes, but now she's acting like she doesn't even know what a VHS is. Yeah. Okay, Jack. So yeah, I don't think that Jack would have ever backpedaled if it were not for this lawsuit. So even though the lawsuit is frivolous, it still has led to Jack backpedaling on her Diddy allegations and claiming to be a Diddy whistleblower. Because to be a whistleblower, you have to be an insider, and if she has no connection or affiliation or association with Diddy or anything closely related to him at all in any capacity in proximity to Diddy, then she's not a real Diddy whistleblower, and her Wikipedia needs to be edited. Yeah.
seen that video drop of him beating up Cassie. What was your first thought? Like, what'd you think? Like,
I was
damn,
triggered.
there you go.
I was triggered instantly.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Because I remember when that happened to me. Running out of that hotel room with a sheet. And he came out. And he grabbed me by my hair and he dragged me back. And he just hit the shit out of me until I stopped fighting. And then he had his way.
Whoa.
Was it somebody in the industry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
media side wants me to ask who, but then the brotherly side wants you to keep that private. So if you want to disclose it, you can, but if not, we definitely respect that too.
I'm going to pay my debt, and I'm going to collect what's owed to me in my own way. Y'all don't want nothing to do with that. Trust me. You don't want me to say that.
Ooh, yeah.
Not today.
Respect.
Yeah.
So let's talk. I seen a video.
What I will say is that Sean Carter is vicious and violent, and what he don't do with his own hands, he will pay others to do. And he films it all and he watches it. Like I said, there's another tape of me out there. I just don't know where it's going to pop up.
So there's a video circulating out there. I seen it today, actually. Which you speaking?
I'm on a Diddy tape.
Say it again.
I'm on a Diddy tape.
Which one?
That person I was just speaking of. I was there with him.
Jay-Z. So she says, I'm on a Diddy tape until she wasn't. She literally said on multiple platforms, I'm on a Diddy tape. She also claimed there's another tape of me out there that might surface one day. Now that the lawsuit is, out here and she's being sued, she's saying, I have no connection to Diddy. Child, again, she's moonwalking, y'all. She's walking backwards, okay? You can't be on a Diddy tape one day and then never met him the next. Is she saying she deep faked herself, or did she just deep fake this whole whistleblower career? So your whole whistleblower career is just fake and a fraud, okay? At this point. So let's get into the next clip.
Where the fuck you go when you get over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right? I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
Here she goes again with alleging that she went to Diddy parties, okay? Parties as in plural. Nobody forced Jag into this lawsuit. She got herself here. The lawsuit is frivolous, but the fact that her own lies were used against her shows she spent too long running her mouth. If she had never inserted herself into the conversation, she would not be in this mess. So, she pulled a magic trick, I guess. Like one day she sent all these Diddy allegations, and then the next day, poof, be gone. It disappears. As soon as that lawsuit showed up, poof, be gone. If she was a real whistleblower, she would stand on her words, not erase them the second she faces real accountability. If she did not want this label, maybe she should not have tried to build a career off fake allegations. I'm just saying. How can you say you have no connection to Diddy when you went to Diddy parties and you have Diddy tapes and you have Diddy freak out tapes and you're on a Diddy tape? Yeah, that shows a lot of connections to me. But we're gonna get into her new thing of, she's backpedaling now that she's scared. Again, we're watching the old clips and then we're going to go to the present day.
You talk about a lot of people in the industry, but what's some things that you can be real about yourself? Like, what are some of the things that you have actually done?
I was a pimp.
Who was you pimping?
Girls, sometimes boys.
So right here, Jag calls herself a pimp. She called herself a pimp and admitted to pimping both men and women. And soon you'll hear that she claims to have hidden cameras on herself and also on sex workers. So on this clip, she will say, she had hidden cameras like on her own person. And then on the Piers Morgan show, she claims that she sent sex workers in and they had hidden cameras. And in both videos, she claims to have these tapes.
They worked for me.
So that's why you was able to be in these rooms and see the things that you seen?
I was in those rooms even when I wasn't physically in those rooms, because I had hidden cameras on all of my workers. I keep
Jaguar,
hidden cameras.
the hidden cameras,
on
That's way
all
back
of
in the
my
day.
workers. Yeah, who do you think I am?
You Jaguar Wright, baby. That's why I'm up here talking to you. I believe in a lot of stuff that you say. Sometimes I feel
I
like you
have been
say stuff
wearing
for.
body cams.
So pause right there. At first she says she sends sex workers in with their body cams. And then right there she actually says, I have been wearing. So she says I, addressing herself and talking about herself, that she has been wearing body cams. Let's go back one notch.
That's way
All
back
of
in the
my
day.
workers. Yeah, who do you think I am?
You Jaguar Wright, baby. That's why I'm up here talking to you. I believe in a lot of stuff that you say. Sometimes I feel
I
like you
have been
say stuff
wearing
for.
body cams since 2005.
I have been wearing body cams since 2005. So if you have been recording these freak off tapes and you have all these tapes since 2005, ma'am, why are you now acting like you have no involvement with Diddy? And you have went to so many of his parties, recorded so many of his freak offs. Freak offs are intimate settings, and it's not going to be, just anybody allowed in there. He obviously is going to be recording these sessions himself, and he's going to be there. So that implies, and that's obviously requires a connection and an invite from Diddy himself.
Mm.
I had no choice after I
So when you
found out
gonna
the
drop the
truth about what
footage?
happened to Aaliyah.
Here we go. Again, somebody called Triple A because Jag's brakes are gone. She slammed that reverse gear so hard, she ended up back in 1999 before she even started line child. Okay, she did a reverse Uno and, reverse, cha slide.
Well, see,
She
who
said,
said that I'm going to use that footage for content?
Mm.
Maybe it's only evidence.
mm,
Maybe some of those tapes have already made it to the DOJ. Maybe that gave the Homeland Security enough. You
Mm.
know, anonymous informants are very, very, very useful.
If she was never involved, why claim to have hidden camera footage of what went on in those parties or in private rooms? You can't be the director, producer, and distributor of this footage and then suddenly say you are not even on the set. How can you be filming something and not being on the set with Diddy? You can't be on a Diddy tape or in a Diddy tape or have Diddy tapes without being connected to Diddy, correct?
That's real. Now, can I ask
Now,
you
I'm
one more
not going to
thing?
say I'm a fed, and I'm not going to say I'm a snitch. What I will say is, I talk to people in law enforcement,
Mm.
and a lot of times they listen. But they definitely listen when I let them talk to my witnesses.
How do you know as many of the things that you know? Like, what have you actually physically seen with your eyes, like that you can tell us? Because it are the things that you telling us things that you've seen or things that you've heard? Because I remember
You
you
have to
said something
understand
about
something.
Aaliyah and Jay-Z.
I was a sex worker when I got my record deal.
A sex worker when she got her record deal.
All I did was evolve that.
Mm-hmm.
I know the things that I know because I might not always be physically present, but I always have someone in the room.
Okay. Okay.
So you were a sex worker and you were not always there. You didn't say never there. You said not always there. Okay. So that implies that you're sometimes there, but not always there in those rooms. And you have people in the room. So that means that you actually send people there or have people there, and those people are working for you.
Sex workers are better than priests.
And the sex workers are better than priests. So you will send these sex workers who are better than priests to be your spies with cams, right?
They get better confessions.
Alrighty then. Well, look, you said something about.
For those who were never at these freak off parties, what were they like?
Before we get into Piers Morgan, again, as you can see, Jag is always claiming to have sex workers in these rooms at these places or herself there with hidden cameras and having a bunch of Diddy tapes. Okay, so she's connecting herself to Diddy, connecting herself to doing dirty deeds with Diddy, having freak off tapes. Now, keep in mind, what's in the actual freak off tapes? What is in the actual freak off tapes and what has been alleged to be there? And why has she held on to freak off tapes allegedly since 2005? She's very complicit in the cover up with Diddy, right? That's a co conspirator and would make her a part of the cover up if this were all true, correct? Jaguar claimed she was an industry insider, didn't claim she was just watching from the outside. She said she was in the rooms, then she wasn't in the rooms. Now she said she has no connection to Diddy at all. Yeah. Jag, you need to update your Google Maps because you just tried to drive away from accountability and you crashed into your own past statements. So she's either a liar, a fraud, or an unreliable witness, or all three. I go with all three. If we play all her statements back to back, it will sound like she is debating herself, for real, for real.
For those who were never at these freak off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix.
So she went from, a pimp to sex worker, dominatrix,
Before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand.
So you'll have to be an insider to know all of that, right?
That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and
sex workers the sex workers she has worked with throughout the years and continue to work with
even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes.
I have my own tape. She didn't say someone else has tape. She says I have my own. I have my own freak off tapes from these Diddy parties. She said this on Piers Morgan. I have my own tapes from Diddy freak out parties. That was the question. What do you know about the freak out party? She has her own freak out party tapes. How would she have access to that? She would send sex workers to Diddy's parties, and that's how she would get access to these tapes. That's what she's alleging. So that would make her a sex trafficker for Diddy, and she wonders why she ended up in this lawsuit. Jaguar Wright won a clout off of Diddy's name for years. She thought nobody would ever check her. Who gon' check my boy? Now that she's actually facing the consequences, she's scrambling to undo the damage. Jack spent years clout chasing off of Diddy's name, and now that the bill is due, she's acting like the waiter brought her the wrong check. Bitch, nah, that's your check, bitch. Pay it up. Pay it up. Nobody told you to get on here and lie through your crusty lips, okay? Again, if she was... Jack, if you were always telling the truth, you would not need to backpedal. See, you would just stand 10 toes down in it. This isn't about justice or victims. This is all about attention and financial gain and profit for yourself because Jag gets paid for interviews. In fact, she's trying to blackmail real life productions right now for more money. Like they offer her $7,000, but she wants $28,000 instead, or $25,000. And now Jag is, drowning in the same lies she created. So that means she gets paid for interviews. So this is not all just about attention, which she does love. This is also about profit and making money off of interviews where she goes on people's platform, tells a bunch of lies, and then when she's about to get sued or she feels like she's in trouble, she makes up some sort of AI story or backpedals and recants or retracts or pretends like gaslights everybody. Now, she won't call it retraction, but it actually is if you take back a statement. She just lies and tries to cover it up. But yeah, now Jag is drowning in the same lies she created. You need a life float. You need a float to stay above these lies.
Those who were never at these freak off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience. I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging, putting girls in the suitcases.
So before we get into, her new statements after the filing of the lawsuit or amended lawsuit on March 7th, and before we get into her statement she made overnight, until going into March 8th, let's actually talk about freak off tapes and her stating that she has these tapes and what that means. A freak off tape is not just a bunch of celebrities having fun at a private party. These tapes are allegedly secret recordings of powerful industry figures engaging in illegal activity, including sexual exploitation, coercion, and assault. SA. If you claim to have freak off tapes, you are claiming to have footage of people being violated, drugged, harmed, assaulted, often unknowingly or against their will, because when you're drugged, incapacitated, drunk, etc., drugged, you cannot give consent. Okay, so that's unknowingly and against their will. These are not just wild party tapes. They are evidence of potential crimes. For Jack to say that she has had these tapes since 2005, that's very, very serious. Now, do I believe that Jack actually has these freak off tapes and she has done all of this? No, but it's also sick to actually pretend to be a victim or pretend to have these tapes and play around with serious issues. It is. There are real victims out there that actually are in freak off tapes that are actually SA victims and actually have been violated and are experiencing trauma and they have been victimized. And people like Jag, like Misha, and others playing around with serious topics can impact or have an effect on real victims of SA and etc. So Jag was out here talking about these freak off tapes like it was a Real Housewives reunion special. No, sis, this ain't no Bravo TV. Okay, this is real life. Filming people without their knowledge or consent is illegal. If people were being drugged or coerced, as she stated in the Piers Morgan interview, it goes from illegal to criminally damning evidence of trafficking and assault. Why would any woman or any man or any person, for that matter, hold on to these tapes from 2005 all the way to the present and not turn this in to law enforcement to actually help victims if that's what they state they are doing? Victim advocacy and to protect the victims. No, that sounds like you are protecting Diddy. Not victims. If Jaguar really had these tapes, she would not be a whistleblower. She'd be an accessory to the very crime she claimed to be exposing. Whistleblowing would actually be telling on these people. An accessory is actually keeping the evidence to yourself, not swilling, not telling, not protecting the victims at all. In fact, in her pimp video, she actually said that she would cheat the actual sex workers out of money and give them like cheap tickets or cheap backstage passes instead of money. So she admitted to pimping people out and pretty much didn't show any remorse. If those tapes really existed, Jack would not be out here giving interviews. She'd be giving statements to the feds explaining why she sat on criminal evidence for years. Like, let's be for real. Okay? At first, she claimed she had hidden camera footage. Then she said the sex workers she sent in were the ones filming. Then she claimed she personally wore a body cam since 2005 to catch people in the act. Now that she's being sued, suddenly none of that happened. If Jack had real, undeniable proof of trafficking, coercion, or assault, why didn't she give it to law enforcement? Instead, she spent years running her mouth on YouTube, never once turning in any footage. You mean to tell me she sat on explosive, career-ending, FBI-level evidence just to go on live and beg for cash apps, $1 per view, begging ass bitch? If people were really being trafficked and coerced, it's disgusting to pretend to have evidence just for attention. She wanted the clout of acting like she had the inside scoop, but now that the legal spotlight is on her, she's pretending none of this ever happened. Bottom line, if Jaguar Wright really had freak off tapes, she'd be in a whole different situation right now. Either she was lying the whole time or she was sitting on something that could people. Either she was lying the whole time or she was sitting on something that could put people away and chose to do nothing but get paid for interviews for profit, pretending to help victims, but only helping her own pockets. And judging by how fast she's backpedaling, I think we all know which one it is, which is, she's a liar. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into the author of the lawsuit. The following statements are from Jack from March 8th when she heard about this lawsuit and had a full-blown narcissistic rage.
I've been honest about who I am. I've been honest about my past. I've been honest about everything. I've been more honest than anybody else has. And I tell you this, they would have had a better chance of trying to make something stick if it came from the Jigger man.
So she said that she's an honest person, which is a lie right there, and that people would have had a better chance of making something stick, like the lawsuit sticking, if it came from Jay-Z. Now, why would you say that it would have a better chance of sticking? Oh, perhaps because you've told more lies on Jay-Z. The only way it would have a better chance of sticking is if you told more lies on him, more damning, obvious lies, and it will stick. Okay, something sticky means that it's a lie and it will stick. See, the truth is not going to stick, only a lie. Defamation requires you to lie on somebody. Okay, so if you're lying, then it will stick. If you're telling the truth, it won't, because the truth or facts is a defense against defamation.
Because that's where the real dirt is.
And she says, and that's where the real dirt is. So the real dirt, she's saying, is with Jay-Z.
Dirt with Diddy.
So she says she ain't got no dirt with Diddy. So let's go ahead and listen to what she says about Diddy and how she has no dirt with Diddy.
A chance of trying to make something stick if it came from the Jigger man. Because that's where the real dirt is. I ain't got no dirt with Diddy. I never did no business with Diddy, nothing. I find it funny that people really don't listen. They don't listen. They gotta listen to Amber Rose sit there and say that there ain't no freak off. That's about everything. I've been more honest than anybody else has. And I tell you this, they would have had a better chance of trying to make something stick if it came from the Jigger man. Because that's where the real dirt is. I ain't got no dirt with Diddy. I never did no business with Diddy, nothing. I find it funny that people really don't listen. They don't listen. They gotta listen to Amber Rose sit there and say that there ain't no freak off.
Oh, so now Jack says she had no dirt with Diddy, no business, no involvement, nothing. Somebody get me a time machine, because I could have sworn this was the same woman who said she was inside the rooms supplying the workers, filming the freak offs, and has Diddy tapes. Jack out here trying to rewrite history like we don't have hours of her own voice, contradicting everything she's saying now. If she has no dirt with Diddy, then what was all that talk about being at his parties, filming secret tapes, and walking people out of his freak offs? She wasn't just in the mix. She was acting like she was HR for Diddy's undergrad operations. Girl, please. She made multiple statements claiming she was inside the rooms, knew the setups, and even supplied workers for these parties. She described hidden cameras, body cams, people being drugged, and all kinds of wild accusations. So, what does she mean by dirty now? She's trying to act like she was just an innocent bystander, like she was just out there handing out snacks and party favors. No, girl. That's not what it is. So now she wasn't part of the freak offs. What was she doing? Making hitting a pinata, swinging at a pinata or something? And then maybe they thought a pinata was her head because it's big and heavy like a pinata. I don't know. Jag has said on multiple platforms that she was a supplier, a sex worker, a dominatrix, and even a pimp. She bragged about being the one who controlled who went into Diddy's parties. If she was providing workers and security, isn't that a business? How can she now say that she had no business dealings with Diddy when she had literally claimed to be part of the operation? Wait a minute. I thought you were the CEO of Diddy Party Recruitment LLC. Now you're telling us you were just standing outside passing out wristbands? Girl, bye. She could have simply said, I was not involved in trafficking, but she went further than that. She's now trying to erase everything she has ever said about being part of those parties. That lawsuit has her scrambling to undo her own history. She's trying to erase her Google history, child. She don't want people to see what she's been searching and Googling up and lying about, child. And she's hoping she's hoping people forget the countless interviews where she inserted herself into these stories. Jag's biggest mistake was trying too hard to make herself look important in these industry scandals. She went from claiming she had receipts, tapes, firsthand knowledge, and was in the room, to now acting like she was never anywhere near any of it. If she really had no dirt with Diddy, why was she speaking as if she was his event coordinator, security, and camera crew all in one? Jag, you can't have it both ways, child. You can't claim you were inside the parties working security, supplying people, and filming everything, and then when legal trouble pops up, suddenly say you had no dirt with Diddy. You said it, you bragged about it, and now you're scrambling to take it all back. And the best part, even Diddy probably sitting back like, who the hell is Jaguar Wright? A mess. And then let's listen to the last one.
I've been honest about everything. I've been more honest than anybody else has.
The lies by Candy Burr's voice.
And I tell you this, they would have had a better chance of trying to make something stick if it came from the Jigga Man. Because that's where the real dirt is. I ain't got no dirt with Diddy. I never did no business with Diddy, nothing.
Really? Sorry to that man, she said.
You know, I find it funny that people don't listen. They don't listen. They gotta listen to Amber Rose sit there and say that there ain't no freak off.
Child, I'm not getting all into that Amber Rose, but I can say she will have more information on all. So anyway, okay, so that was the same clip. Let's get into the next one. So this will be the last one. So let's get into the last and final clip, shall we?
When they start creating fake allegations, because see, this is the thing, and I made it very clear. No, ever with Diddy, no one will find anything ever with me and Diddy. It would be easier to find things with me and Mr. Carter, and those things will never happen.
When they start creating fake allegations, because see, this is the thing, and I made it very clear. I know nothing ever with Diddy. No one will find anything ever with me and Diddy. It would be easier to find things with me.
So she's saying it would be easier to find things with Sean Carter, Jay-Z than Diddy. There's nothing with Diddy ever, ever.
Me and Mr. Carter. And those things will never happen.
Oh, so now Jack says she has nothing ever with Diddy. No connection, no involvement, no link to him at all. She said, and I quote, "No one will find nothing ever with me and Diddy." Girl, are you sure? Because I seem to recall hours upon hours of you running your mouth telling the world all about the somethings you supposedly had with Diddy. The somethings, not the nothings. You know, freak off tapes, secret recordings, walking people out of parties, claiming you were inside the rooms. You weren't just with Diddy. You made it sound like you had a key to the damn building. If she really had no connection to Diddy, what exactly has she been ranting about for the past 3 years? She swore she had Diddy tapes, freak off footage, and insider knowledge about how his operation worked. She said she personally attended his parties and even pimped people out to them. But now all of a sudden she has nothing, nothing ever. Girl, did you black out for the last 3 years? Jack herself said, "I go to Diddy parties to walk people out." She was not just in attendance, she was claiming she had a role. Right? If she had nothing ever with Diddy, how was she walking people out? Was she just there as a concerned citizen, making sure everyone got home safe? So he allowed you to just go in there and boss people around and take people out, and how you had to have an invite, right? So she went from "I was walking people out of Diddy's parties" to "I was never even there." Girl, what were you, a ghost, Casper the Friendly Whistleblower? Yeah. She said no one will ever find any connection between her and Diddy, but we don't have to find it. You already told us this. Like you told us yourself that you had a connection to Diddy. So why are you talking about finding anything when you said it? You actually confessed. And to be honest, even though it's a frivolous lawsuit, they could use your own words against you. Your own words, her own words, are out here on video in interviews and rants and rages. She built an entire brand off pretending she was connected to Diddy's world. Now that a lawsuit is on the table, she's hoping we all develop collective amnesia. Or forget, like she's gaslighting everybody. So Jack must have flashed herself with one of those, Man in Black memory erasers. Because she forgot everything she's been saying for the last 3 years. Girl, stop it. The lies, the lies, the lies. If Jack truly had nothing ever with Diddy, she would not have spent years pushing these stories. But yeah, because she's a liar, that's why she has been doing it. But now, because her own words are being used against her, she's trying to rewrite history. She was not expecting legal consequences, and now she's trying to act like she was never involved in these narratives. Now, let's be clear. For people in the back that don't understand what I'm saying, I don't believe for a second or a word of anything Jack's saying. I don't believe it, okay? I'm just stating that she's in this pickle and in this predicament of being added to this lawsuit because she has pretended like she is a sex trafficker. And since you want to get online pretending like you're one, obviously, somebody else that's a liar also would add you as a sex trafficker in their lawsuit. And not just any sex trafficker, but a Diddy sex trafficker. And you can't say, "Oh, I'm not a sex trafficker," because you have been lying for the last 3 years saying you are one, right? Yikes. That lawsuit hit her brain like a factory reset. Diddy freak offs, hidden cameras, never heard of it. So she wanted to be seen as the ultimate insider, the one with all the secrets, so she can get paid for interviews and lie in people's face and play a role like she's in a starring role with Tubi film. But now she's pretending like she was just a bystander watching from the freaking sidewalk. Either she was lying then or she's lying now. Either way, she's a what? Liar. So Jack, either way you go, you're a liar. Okay. At the end of the day, I know Jack is lying. Come on now. I know she's lying. She's been fabricating stories for years. But what's important to point out here is how this frivolous lawsuit triggered her narcissistic rage. A meltdown so extreme it was filled with hate speech, contradictions, and a desperate attempt to rewrite her own history. The moment legal pressure hit, she scrambled to backpedal, suddenly claiming she has no connection, no business, and no dirt with Diddy, despite years of her own words proving otherwise. Her lies have officially caught up with her. Jag is not a whistleblower. She is a fraud who built her platform on deception, and now that her own narratives are being used against her, she's crumbling under the weight of her own fabrications. If you like this video, please support my channel for free by just hitting that like button, and I will see y'all in the next video. Have a great day.